condition of the Seventh-day Adventist Church at Sr Irene Nawila's Time *. By Sr Irene Nawila. In this message, God is showing us our condition as God's remnant church, the Seventh-day Adventist Church. We will see what we have done to Christ and His chosen workers and the reason Christ has left His church. On the 21st of September 2021, the Spirit of God rested upon me and I was taken in a vision. In this vision, I was put on a journey and was given food to carry on a tray with a candle. The food looked like a big loaf of bread, but in actual sense, it was a cake. I was given a little child to escort me to go to my church, the Seventh-day Adventist Church. It was a Sabbath day at about 4 p.m. and from afar, I heard sounds of joy from inside the church. I started walking towards this church. When I got there, I found an old usher by the entrance and he said, "Irene, enter in please." I entered with the tray of food and told the people that I had brought food for them to eat. The people said, "No ways, we have our own food here. We cannot eat your food. If it was from someone else, we would have eaten it, not from you." They unleashed many bad words on me. They really intimidated and belittled me. There was a party in this church where non-Adventists were invited. There was dancing and celebrating inside this church. Those outsiders were happy to see the cake I had brought and started gobbling on it, even smearing the cream on their faces to show that they were at a party. The Adventists said, "Just leave them alone, let them eat, after all they are outsiders and we will not lose anything." As for us Adventists, we should not even allow our children to eat of Irene's food. When I looked at their food, I saw wine on the table. They drank this intoxicating wine and got drunk. I said to the child who was with me, "You are a child, please go outside before these people hurt you." But he said, "I am not a child. I am a man and you are a woman, it is better they hurt me, not you. We will be together just like this." The little boy got the tray from me with much authority as those people kept chasing us out of the church. The Adventists drew nearer as they chased us in their drunken state. What made them to argue with much annoyance was that they got ashamed because when we arrived, the light from the candle shone in a way that it appeared as if the sun had just risen in the morning, yet it was about 4 p.m. They feared going backward in time like in Joshua's time. They did not want time to go back. They despised the old paths in which our fathers of the faith trod. They did not want their minds to go back to the faith of our fathers but craved for modernity. This really angered them. What amazed me was the happiness that was exhibited by the outsiders who were dancing after eating that cake. They even started the ululations with much joy. Then those ones who were outside heard the joyous noise and ran to share of this joy from inside. To my surprise, a strong deacon stood on the doorway giving them his back, thus blocking them from entering. They said, "See the confusion Irene has brought here, let us not allow these ones to enter, they will bring more confusions. Let us deal with Irene and this child first. After chasing her out, we can then allow them to enter." In actual sense, my brethren did not really want those outsiders who were inside to eat because they wanted them to eat their food which was on the table, the intoxicating wine. But them, being visitors, ate the cake even before they were allowed to. They behaved like those gate crashers we see at football matches or weddings. Then the old usher went inside trying to control my brethren, saying, "What you are doing is not right." He pointed at the small boy and said, "Look, this one is not just human like us." They were so drunk that they did not even want to listen to him, so they said, "Let us extinguish the light from this candle which is showing us that we have gone back to morning time." In their drunken state, they went to urinate on the candle light, but it did not go off. The urine was just falling on its sides. The urine that dropped on the light was like hitting on metal. The light could not be extinguished, instead, it shone even the more. When the usher wanted to speak, he was pushed away saying, "What can you say, old man? Just go away. You have not even worked well, you have allowed foolishness to enter in here." Then that usher changed and became an angel. They tried to kick the tray but ended up kicking that child. There was commotion. Then that child also transformed and behold, it was Jesus Christ. Then the drunk Adventists said, "Why are you changing? You have started doing magic here." Then Christ rose and said, "When I was first here in the world, I found you doing foolish things in my house and I chased you. I told you that my Father's house was not a market or den of robbers. This time I will not chase you but will leave you just like this. I will just remove the food and the light I had given you because you have opted for the devil's wine. I had sent Ellen White to bring this food to you, and this time, I have sent Irene, but have you eaten the food she has brought to you? You scratched and stepped on the food I sent to you. When Irene brings food to you, what do you say? You say if only they had sent someone else, not this one. He really rebuked them and they felt ashamed. I then saw that their intoxication left them. They pleaded for forgiveness, saying that they did not know. After realizing that it was Christ who had brought that food to them, they tried to eat it, but Christ turned around with the tray of food and left them. After the food and the candle that brought much light were removed from the church, thick darkness quickly entered into the church. Then the usher said, "Now that Christ has left you, you will drink and get intoxicated." Then Satan, the author of darkness, brought buckets full of beer on the pulpit table, and Adventists drank and got more drunk. Then the Adventists, due to too much wine, started urinating and defecating right there on the pulpit. Instead of using tissue paper, they used their hands and smeared their excreta on the very table and pews where people sit on. Hence, urine and feces, which is spiritual dirty, was everywhere in the church. Then Christ got me and took me to another place where a banquet table was set before us. It was well decorated with white linen, including the chairs. On the chairs were names of the victors inscribed thereon. No other person could sit on a chair which does not bear her name. All those outsiders who ate the cake from the church came out with us, and their names were found nicely inscribed on those chairs. Christ then said, "I have come out of Israel. The way I have come out, I will never go back again." He then gave us seven days of prayer and fasting so that he can remove that dirty, the wine of Babylon which has entered our church, the Seventh-day Adventist Church. This time pastors can do anything they feel like doing in the church because they are using their own experiences and education, not the Spirit of the God of heaven. They have rejected the food God has given them. Brethren, I have now lost even the little remaining desire I had of going to worship in a church building after seeing the behavior of God's children, the Adventists.
I shall forever lift mine eyes to Calvary, to view the cross where Jesus died for me.